another series, or not another series. We're going to jump to a series. We watched Lovecraft Country. We didn't get a chance to get our review up for episode 2 and 3. This is up to episode 4. You know, they released it early. Did you get a chance to watch it early?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mad I didn't get the review up sooner, but they released episode 4 Sunday, but actually they released it Friday. I think they were trying to compete with The Boys.
Yeah.
That's just weird that they did that. But so we did our review on episode 1, and it was good. We really liked what we saw, and I'm now kind of really getting a feel for what they trying to do with this show.
Yeah.
And I really feel like what they trying to do is basically give us like a sci-fi adventure horror show. They're giving us something from all these stuff in different episodes.
Because I think the thing I've started to kind of compare it to, I don't know if you ever saw this back when it was on, but Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, where
I haven't seen it.
It functions kind of like an anthology, but it follows the same characters.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so, like, you get these same characters, and they're going from. It's not quite Scooby-Doo, you know.
Right.
But it's like every episode, they find themselves going up against some other unthinkable, you know, horrific thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I've been really happy about, because it's something that you don't get to see very often, is that no matter what monster they deal with, no matter what life-threatening situation, it's like, oh, by the way, have you heard about how horrible racism was in the 50s?
Man, you know what? I was going to talk about that. So that's a big theme in the show. This is like in the 50s. This is like they in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So this is in the 50s. I'm sorry. This is in the 50s, and they are. I need to move that. Anyway, this is in the 50s, and they in Chicago, and they flash to the racist things a lot, and that's part of the show, and I'm cool with that. But I'm looking like this show on its own, without the racism undertone, actually holds up.
Yeah.
Even without the racism, that's adding to all their problems. But I'm like, being this sci-fi horror show, I just want them to focus more on the supernatural stuff that's going on. Yeah. I ain't saying I don't want. Of course I want.
Feel it.
But they smacking me in the face with the racism.
Like, because I think this is kind of a
maybe that's how the book was, because this was a book.
Yeah, because I think it was a big issue in the book, but also I think this is kind of a response to the way TV TV used to try to ignore racism.
Yeah. And plus this is in the 50s.
Right. So it's like you'd have something set in like the 40s, and they'd act like, no one ever said anything bad about black soldiers.
I'm just saying, like, we know that the racist undertone is there, but it's so in my face that I'm getting to a point where I'm just like, okay,
because it's like they haven't
got it.
Well, because like one thing I was telling a friend of mine is like they make a point of showing like these are the racist white people. These are the white people who
everywhere
are
they go is black people can't come in here. Black people better than talk to a white person like that. I'm like, all right,
like,
I got it.
I do appreciate that the white people who are the most dangerous in this don't actually care.
I know. And I'm going to get to that. I'm looking like, do y'all really want to trip off of this stuff that's going on between America and normal people, where all the supernatural shit going on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know they use it to their advantage, though.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me give you some context what we talking about. All right, so in the first episode, we know that his father got kidnapped, and he got a letter from his father saying he had to come here and get him. So he went to get his father, and when they got there, these people that's on this, these people kind of held them captive, and they come to find out they like a cult, and they had this whole, and I don't want to give all the stuff away, but they had a whole plan where they wanted to use him because he had the founding member blood inside him, because he's a descendant of him, and that's what it's all about. And then you get introduced to a whole lot of supernatural stuff where they pretty much are like wizards and witches and stuff, and they do spells, and all this stuff is actually true. So all the stuff they read in books is a lot of it was true, you know.
Yeah.
So we find this out in this show, where I'm like, well, the stakes just went up, you know, where they got to deal with racist stuff. That should go in the back seat when you got to deal with wizards and witches that can kill you by putting a spell on you.
They kind of beat you over the head with that in the first episode. It's like, no. There's some malicious races out here. They're dangerous.
Right.
By the way, monsters.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Which, I mean, it makes it doubly hard. But I'm thinking like, okay, can we focus on the supernatural opposed to focus on the racist stuff that's going on?
Sorry, I just flashed back to when that what did they call it? I forget which one was it. The Shoggoth that came out of nowhere and chomped that dude in half.
Oh yeah. But okay, so
sorry, y'all.
Right. Okay, so we know about these wizards and stuff. So by episode 3, which cracks me up, after all that, she buy a haunted house.
Yeah.
Lady, after they got away from these evil wizards and this cult, and the first thing she do is buy a house, and this house is haunted.
Yeah.
Like they can't catch a break.
Like also, the first thing she does when she finds out the house is haunted is not leave.
Yeah, try to get rid of the demon herself.
like they do show a whole progression of her mood throughout the whole thing, so I kind of get why she made that decision.
Well, I think it had to be something with them. Didn't they coerce her to get that house?
Yeah.
They gave her the money, but it was like, and I'm maybe spoiling a little bit, but I was thinking like, it's too much of a coincidence.
Agreed.
That she would not only come into some money and buy a house, but she buy a house that the cult is interested in.
Yeah.
That's way too much of a coincidence.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that they wanted her to have that house or whatever. You know, that's the only thing I can figure. But then they kind of made it look like, oh, I didn't know you was here. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? You made sure that she had this house. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
you know, I just didn't like the way they kind of played it off as a coincidence.
Well, like, because they tried to play it off as a coincidence, and then they showcase how it actually went down a little bit. And I'm like, one, I don't really appreciate characters who are that creepy and that manipulative, just because it's like you can't always get people to do exactly what you expect them to do, exactly when you expect them to do it. What if you had taken that money and moved to L.A.?
Right.
Seemed to be
I'm thinking, I thought they might have not only gave her the money, but gave her the house, like just gave her and here goes some money, and they made sure that she's somehow got that offer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They should have at least let us know that, so we wouldn't think this is a coincidence. Because the way they played it, that she came into some money and just happened to buy a house that they was interested in. Like, so they kind of did the haunted house. So they went from sci-fi monsters, haunted house, and the last episode 4, was kind of like an Indiana Jones.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it's another movie. They had a lot of, it reminded me of Goonies.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of Goonies because they found like this old, it wasn't a pirate ship, but it was like an old place where there was
a ship.
Was it a ship?
It was a ship. Like, cause
I didn't know where they was at.
Because like if you look at the window where the water came in, that's like the back windows on the captain's quarters in like a galleon or something.
Right. So they found like an old pirate ship with dead pirates on it looking for a treasure.
Well, I mean,
it's like a treasure hunt.
It was a treasure hunt. Like there weren't pirates on there. It was
right. That's what I'm saying. You just get that feel.
But you do get that feel, and it's like the whole thing kind of feels like a setup.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like the show kind of want to put you in the whole mood of. First movie we gave you a horror, a monster horror. First 2 episodes. Third episode we gave you a haunted house. Now we're going to give you a venture, pirate venture. I don't know what kind of movie would you classify, like an Indiana Jones. Like what would you classify that as?
I mean,
venture.
Indiana Jones.
Like we want to give you like kind of a
dark adventure.
yeah, like a dark adventure kind of.
Yeah.
You know, so the next episode probably gonna be another genre of this. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, because like they kind of been setting up something a little like Dracula, even with some of the other subplots.
Right.
You know, so it's like I'm expecting that to come through. So I think they're trying to go through like all these kind of iconic horror plot types and try to fit all of those into this season.
Yeah, and we could talk a little bit about the characters so far. Well, we know the main character, what's his name? Tick? Atticus, yeah. And they call him Tick. Anyway, so we got Atticus as your main character, and his girlfriend, lady, might as well say his girlfriend now. Yeah. His girlfriend, lady, and his dad now.
Lewis.
And his dad, which played by Michael K. Williams. And I like the actor. I'm starting to really not like the character because I did like him because I felt like he talking sense, because every time they say we got to do this, we got to do that, he's like, no, we can't do that because this crazy, but they have to do this and that because they are being pursued by a cult.
Because like at first it seems like his thing is, look, there's nothing sensible about getting yourself involved in this, so we got to go and we got to stay gone. And then when it becomes apparent that staying gone isn't going to help,
he keeps
doubling down.
Right, and it's to the point where we don't want to, but they involved us, and we got to do this to survive. So either you're gonna get in our way or you're gonna help us. And he's not helping by always trying to stop him. And it's like, okay, so. At some point, he decided to help, and now he's going along on the adventure now instead of Uncle. I forgot his uncle, Courtney B. Vance character that
was
died.
It Uncle George?
I think so, Uncle George.
Yeah,
which I like better because he had a lot more.
I can only imagine what this series would look like. If
right, Uncle George is there because he got knowledge on what the.
He's read all the books.
Right, on what all this occult stuff going. He knew about. They code and all that just because he.
But like
also he
knows how
he always did his research.
Like because he knows how these kinds of people operate.
Right, right.
He's made it his job to know what malicious people are like.
Right, so he'll be getting more answers or whatever. But since he ain't around, we got his dad. I can't remember his dad's name, but he's no help. He's less than no help because he's actively trying to stop them for getting answers, But so they went on this little adventure and they picked up a stowaway. Well, they end up because they had to find some kind of it's a good series because every episode feel like another genre of another movie.
Yeah.
But they found these kind of like a treasure hunt. So they found like this pages to this book they need to get read, and they needed to translate it. And they end up getting now. This part was just weird. It's getting so supernatural that I wish they just once they get back into the real world, you'd be like, what's the point? Because y'all just what I'm saying. Y'all so into the supernatural world. It's like,
well, it's like anytime they have issues with people they know, I'm like, what?
Use a spell on them. Y'all know magic is real now.
Like it's like that dude that keeps messing with you, and even though you don't mess with him. Put a spell on them.
Yeah.
But like also, how y'all still tripping over simple everyday stuff?
I know the saying when you found out it's wizards and witches.
Like, you've always been killed in magical rituals.
Well, hold on. They went so far as to bring somebody back to life.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a stretch, but apparently they said that they had control of the Necronomicon or whatever, and they can bring people back to life or whatever. Yeah. But that got destroyed when the whole thing went down in episode 2. But anyway, they bring this new character in, and then they get rid of this new character right away. And I don't even want to say how or what. But
3 minutes of screen time before they was wiped out?
Yeah, and I don't know what the whole deal was. It was kind of brutal how they did it.
Like, hey, so glad you're on the team. We're gonna go places together. Bye.
No, more like, oh, what's that behind you? What? You know what I'm saying? It was that stuff.
It was like, especially when you see the scene, it's so messed up because the character thinks that things are about to go in a much different direction.
Yeah, and it's just
yeah.
episode. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And then they got some small subplots I was really curious about. I'm gonna get your thoughts on this. Letty's sister.
Yeah.
So you know she's sore. She what's the word? Bitter, mad at Letty because she didn't tell her about this money she came into, and she kind of like left her out to dry or whatever. And you know they kind of got this whole thing. So they got I don't know his name.
I can't remember his name. The manservant.
Yeah, he's obviously been sent to get her.
Yeah.
And he's
I don't know
they hooked up.
Yeah.
And
I can't tell if she's leverage or if they have something else in mind.
I think they got something they want to get. You're right to get. They probably want to get some leverage to get her to get Letty under their thumb or whatever. That's what I'm figuring.
Yeah.
And they end up hooking up. I didn't see that coming, but I saw it. I kind of saw it the way she was talking. As soon as he bought her a drink, man, I was like, yeah,
it's gonna happen.
I forgot her name. What's her name? You don't know nobody's name. You suck.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not good at names right now.
But the point is, as soon as she was talking, like as soon as he got her a drink, she was like, yeah, as long as you keep the glass full, it's whatever. I'm like, oh shit, she down. And you know they went on and hooked up, but I'm feeling like I was like because he seemed like he just like loyal or whatever. Yeah. He don't seem like he do stuff on his own.
Right.
I feel like he do stuff under orders. So I'm guessing this is like you said, it's a way to get leverage on Letty. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So they hooked up, and I don't know how far they're gonna go with this. You know, with her, are they gonna have them have some kind of relationship, or is this a spell? You know what I'm saying? Is this gonna do something to her? You know, I don't know. Makes you interested to see the next episode.
Because it definitely seems like, especially from like the preview we got for the next episode.
I didn't even see the preview.
So it looks like they're gonna try to lead her down a certain kind of path.
That's what I'm saying. Are they turning them against each other, maybe?
Yeah.
And that's how they start off by, you know, getting her confidence. And plus, he said, "I can offer you the whole world," and that's probably going to be, you know, once she start getting, because she's bitter because she's not getting things that she feels she deserves.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons because she's black and she's living in a racist country and all this stuff, and you know. That right there is that's you got somebody that's easy to get them to come to the dark side, or you know, no pun intended.
Yeah,
you know,
the world does not want you to succeed. We can teach you how to beat the world,
right? Or give you an edge or something. Yeah. You know, so that's interesting to see where that's going to go. So can't wait can't wait to that next episode. So you will get a review for us when that come up. I'm gonna try to keep to our reviews. All right, so we're going to move on. That is our review for Lovecraft Country, episode 4. We're moving on. Give me just wait a tick. We've been watching a lot of things. We'll go